good name. We have one more animal, and we have a number of artifacts. We have all fun things for you guys. Won't
This
tell you
way,
its
so I can
name.
have somebody else look at it.
What was that, Matthew? What was that?
Okay, kids, now that you're finished, we can start back up.
That way you know what sometimes the team that is. Don't use commitment. This way it may have
Okay, everybody, we got a very special announcement. We have a new member to the staff of the Lodi Memorial Library. I'd like to introduce you. Everybody put a very warm welcome together for your new children's librarian, Jennifer. Jennifer, come on up. For all you kids, you must be seeing a lot of her.
I just started last week on Monday, and I'm going to be helping everybody doing programs, story time, making crafts, playing games. So don't be afraid to come up and say hi. I don't bite, okay? Plus I'm really weird, which is cool. I'm not afraid of acting silly. You afraid of acting silly? No? Very good, I like that. Good. Acting silly is good, except for when it's time to be quiet like you are right now, which is awesome. So far you guys are up to a great start. I can't wait to see you come to programs, okay? Okay? All right, thank you.
Everybody put your hands together for Jen. Okay, we're going to start the second part of the program.
Oh my goodness, look at all of these gorgeous bunnies. Can I see everybody's bunny? Wow, it must be spring. Look at all of these great bunnies. Did you all have fun? Yeah. Great. Who named their bunny? What did you, oh, Matthew. You named yours Matthew? Well, his name is Matthew. Yes? Sparkles, good name. How about up there? Good names. How about yours? Sam? Jenna? Hops, good name for a bunny. We'll take one more. Yes? Rosie, that's great. So you all have named your bunnies. So do you think they're wild bunnies?
No.
These are all your pet or your toy bunnies. The animals that we're going to talk about now are all animals that you find in the wilds. The wilds of Bergen County. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What are some wild animals? Who can name me a wild animal? A fox. A crocodile. A shark. A wolf. A bear. Tigers. Wild snakes, right? Yes. Oh, you were going to say snakes? Where are you? Oh, so there's a lot more. Piranhas. One more. Yes. Swordfish. So are all of those wild animals that you said animals that you can find in Bergen County? No, you can find a lot of wild animals in Bergen County, but you're not going to find tigers, right? And you're not going to find anacondas, unless somebody lost a pet anaconda. Octopus, right? You might find them in the water off the coast. We're going to talk about some of the animals that you can find that are right in Bergen County, and what you might see if they've been in your yard, or your playground at school, or your park in town. All of these wild animals, and some of the ones you didn't mention, something like a squirrel, right? Or what about little chipmunks? Who's seen the chipmunk? Who saw a wild animal today? Oh, I don't mean Mitch and Andy. I know they're a little wild, but I didn't mean them. Some of the wild animals that you see are ones that have been here for years and years and years, way moved to this area. Before people moved to this area, to Bergen County, things looked a lot different. They did. They had a lot of trees and bushes and woods, and they really didn't have as many big open meadows or playing fields or walls. All of those things came when people came. So the animals had to decide, do we want to stay in this area and live with people, or do we want to move a little bit further away, up into the mountains or deeper into the woods? So some animals you see a lot, like the squirrels and the birds, and some animals decided to move further away from people. We're going to talk a little bit about both, okay? Yes, there is something that is moving and alive. Do you want to start with that? You can start with that since it captivated everyone's attention. My friend Mitch is going to tell us about some of the reptiles that you would find in Bergen County. What's a reptile? Now, do you think our turtle's going to be really comfortable with a lot of noise or just a little noise? Just a little noise. So we're going to try to be just a little bit noisy and not a lot noisy. How many of you who can quietly raise their hand, how many of you have seen a wild turtle in Bergen County? Right, there's actually a lot of turtles. If you go to most ponds, you're going to find a pond turtle. Pond turtles have thinner shells that make it easier for them to swim through the water. If you go into the woods or the fields, you're going to find a friend like Mitch has. Mitch is going to tell us all about that type.
Oh, and this is a special kind of turtle. This turtle is called a box turtle. Does that mean it lives in a box? No! It means this turtle doesn't keep itself warm like you do. Our bodies are always the same temperature. All right, they're always, Mommy, if you're sick, she takes your temperature. She wants to make sure it's where it should be. And it should always be about the same. The turtle doesn't have a mechanism to keep himself warm. His temperature is the same as the temperature where he's living. We call this cold-blooded, but it's really not cold blood. It's the same temperature as in the room. He has nothing to keep him warm with his blood. His blood stays the same temperature out of the room. Now, when you eat a lot of food. And you know what a lot of that food goes to? It goes to burning calories in your body, burning the food in your body to keep your temperature constant. He doesn't need that because he doesn't have a constant temperature. So he's going to eat a lot less than we do. Now, what happens when it starts? It's fall now. It's starting to get cold outside. It's going to snow soon. The temperature's dropping. His temperature is going to start dropping also. What's going to happen when it freezes outside? His blood is going to freeze. And if his blood freezes, he's not going to survive. He's not going to live. He can't live. So what does he do? He has a very special adaptation, a way to survive in the wild. He's able to dig himself or her a deep hole in the ground and snuggle down into that groove and stay there all winter where it's a little warmer. So he or she, this is a she, doesn't freeze. Okay? And now it's getting to be spring. It's getting to be, so all winter, you're not going to see box turtles. They're in hibernation. Okay? Hibernation. They're sleeping under the ground where it's nice and warm. Now it's getting to be springtime. It's getting warm. Oh boy, I can come out of my hole now and see what's going on. And so the turtle crawls out of the hole and comes out and starts looking for food. Now this is called a box turtle because it has a box. So this little hinge here, there's a split here. I don't know if you can all see it. and this bends, and so Mrs. Turtle can go into her shell and close the door, and she's perfectly protected from any kind of predator, any kind of person or animal that wants to harm her. Now, can she come out of her shell and walk around and then go back into her shell? I don't think so. You know why? Because Andy will show you.
This is the turtle shell. There's nobody in here. It's just a shell. And in fact, this is the top shell, which we call the carapace. And Mitch asked you, can a turtle climb out of his shell? What do you think? Who thinks the turtle can climb out of his shell all the way? Who thinks they can? We have a majority. We have the majority. And you're right. The majority's right. What? That's right. It's actually part of the spine of the turtle. And if you look under here, you can actually see how it's all attached. So the carapace or the shell grows with the turtle. If he doesn't have a shell, it's not a turtle.
So what do you guys think the shell is made out of? Rock? No, I don't think so. Good guess though. What do you think it's made of? What's the shell made of? What holds you up when you walk around? What in your body holds you up? Bones! Okay, we all have bones. That's what holds us up. This is bone the turtle has. On the bone, the turtle has a thin layer of material. It's almost like our skin. We call it scoots. You know, scientists have to give fancy names to everything. So Andy said this is the top of the shell, and this is the bottom of the shell, and these are like the skin. But the scientist gives us fancy names. We're not going to worry about that right now. So now the turtle comes out of the shell, comes out in the water, and comes out into the woods and starts looking for food. What do you think the turtle eats? What does he eat? All kinds of things. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we can't touch the turtle because the state law doesn't permit it. I'm sorry to say, and we will have to just look at it very carefully. This is a girl turtle. I'm going to look at the bottom at her plastron, her bottom, and I can tell just by looking at it that it's a girl. And you could too if you just knew how to do it very easily. The boy turtle has an indentation, okay, in the shell. The girl turtle is flat. You can always tell the difference when you find it. Now, if I find the turtle walking down the road, and I pick it up, do I tap on its shell? Why? Could the turtle feel me touching the shell? It's bone. Can he feel me touching its shell? Absolutely. There are vibrations that are going to go right in, and he's going to feel it in his body. So we don't want to start banging on the turtle shell or touching all kinds of things. We're going to take the turtle, take them across the road, and put them in the forest, or put them in the woods, and the turtle will generally survive by themselves. Here in New Jersey, here in Bergen County. Okay? Do you know about the turtle?
That's about it.
Okay.
Should you guys ever pick up a turtle that you find in the wild? No, you should never touch a wild turtle. My friend Mitch has been specially trained, and there are a number of people that are trained to help the turtles and the wild animals. However, you guys shouldn't really go out and touch the animals too much, because there's germs that are different, right? Right, you should never touch a boa constrictor if it's not a pet. But you're not going to find those crossing the road too much in Bergen County. But turtles you might see, and it's always good to avoid the turtles. But there's some turtles that you don't want to touch. Yes? Right, you wouldn't want to bang on them or touch them because you might hurt them. Any wild animals you might hurt, and they get scared, right? What do you think an animal's going to do if it gets scared? Right, it might try to defend itself and you might get hurt. So should you ever touch a wild animal? No. Should you ever feed the wild animals without your parents or your teacher's permission? No, because there's some animals that you don't want to attract to your yard. So we're going to talk a little bit about birds, because there's a lot of birds in Bergen County. There's different types of birds. There's perching birds that you would find in the trees. That would be like the robins or the cardinals. There's also ground birds that you would find. How many of you have seen all those turkeys around Bergen County? There's a lot of turkeys in this area. And the more that there's less woods, the more you're going to see those turkeys on your front lawn. I brought a bald eagle feather. Now, years ago when I was a kid, like 1,000 years ago or so, there was a lot of eagles. And then, as I got a little bit older, there weren't as many. There was a chemical that was released that actually hurt the bald eagle's eggs. So it made their eggs really soft, and their eggs didn't survive. Are you guys seeing a lot of bald eagles now? You're starting to see more, but you don't see a lot yet. So in New Jersey, they're still trying to have more bald eagles. They're trying to help them with nesting, and they're trying to help make a lot of safe places for animals like bald eagles and other raptors, other meat-eating birds, so that you'll see more of them in Bergen County. Should you be afraid of those animals? No. Are you guys mice? Do you think a raptor's going to try to eat you? No, you're not on their menu. Okay, so you don't have to worry about a bird like this. This is also another raptor's feather. This is from an owl. Owls are my favorite birds. Don't tell the other ones, I don't want them to be jealous. But owls are my favorite. I'm going to flap this feather. We're going to listen. Did you hear it? So this bird, when it flies, is going to make a little bit of noise. Now we're going to listen to the owl's feather. Did you hear anything? Owls are because owls like to eat mice and things that have great big ears that can hear them. So these owls will fly very quietly, and they'll be able to sneak up on their prey. Pretty cool, huh? Yes? Right, they make some noise at night. There's a little less noise. There's probably a little less cars and stuff, so there's less noise at night. So hopefully they can sneak up on their prey. Right. Oh, right. Sometimes the owl sounds and the sounds at night can be a little spooky, but you shouldn't be scared of owls. Owls are actually fun. When I hear the owl hooting, I usually try to look for it. It's usually really fun and really pretty to see. So there's other ways that you can tell other than just hearing the hoo. You can also look for nest. This is the nest of a robin, and we have a pretend robin's egg in it. What color is the robin's egg? Green. Blue or bluish green. Right. All of the eggs from different birds are different sizes and different colors, and their nests will look different too. If you come to the zoo and you find some birds' nests, you're going to see some really cool birds' nests because they don't just have string and wrappers and things that they find around a regular park. We have so many cool animals at the zoo that you can find bison fur in the nests, and you can find some guanaco fur. So you can find all the different things that we have at the zoo. The wild animals use that material to make their own homes and to help make their homes comfortable. So animals in Bergen County are pretty smart, right? Right, so a lot of them have gotten used to people and learned how to live really well with us. So that's a little bit about some of our birds. There's a lot of birds, so that we could go on for days and talk about them. What's another animal that's not a bird that's flying around Bergen County? And it's usually at night too. What do you think? A duck might be flying around, but that's a type of bird. What's one that's not a bird? I know, but you know all the answers. You're pretty good. Can't let you answer all of them. So this is a little brown bat. And this is what their skeleton looks like. So these are real. We ordered it from a catalog. I'm sure it had a long and happy life. And I'm going to leave all of the things that we talk about, I'm going to leave them at the table. And when we're done with our program, if anyone wants to come up and look at them, we're not going to touch so much, but you can come up and look at some of the things we have. So you might find a bat flying around. There's a lot of different animals that have fur. Fur is part of what makes an animal a mammal. One of the ones we're going to talk about is one that people are seeing more and more in Bergen County. Not a dinosaur, but that's a good guess. I heard T-Rex, I heard dog. Haven't heard the animal yet. This, good guesses. Haven't heard it yet. Coyote, we're getting closer. No. A lot bigger. Another hint. This is what its fur would look like. This is not real fur. Do you think it's right? Who says it's a bear? Very good. That's a bear. Just so you know, all of these boxes, this is not real fur. This is what they call kind fur. It's made to look and feel just like the real fur, but it's not real. Because we wouldn't want to have a box full of somebody's fur. That's not a very zoo thing to have. So this is the skull of a bear. And my friend Mitch, I'll play that. Would you like to tell everyone about the teeth of our bear? And while Mitch is getting settled a little bit, this is a bear's paw print. A black bear paw print. Who can tell me? See those little dots up here? What are those? Right, that's the claws from the toes of them. That's they have big claws that kind of curve. And they use those to help them climb trees or dig up things. One second. And we're going to have this up at the table too. And if you want to see if your paw is bigger than the bear paw, feel free when you're done. We'll give you time to do that. But my friend Mitch is going to tell us all about the bear and his teeth.
Well,
Can you see everybody's teeth?
Let's talk about these animals that you're going to see in the wild, outside in the woods, in the forest. Now, some of them, you all know about animals in nature, I'm sure. The big animals sometimes will eat the smaller animals, and the smaller animals will eat the tiny animals. And that's how life proceeds. It's the balance of nature. And so the animals, and some animals, when they eat other animals, are called predators. Predators are animals that eat other animals. And if they only eat meat, they're called carnivores. Okay? If they eat meat and vegetables, they're called omnivores. We are omnivores because we eat meat and vegetables. Anyway, this is a bear. And the bear is always looking around for other animals, or small animals that he might be able to eat. They eat a lot of vegetables also, but you can tell from the sharp teeth in the front, they use those teeth to tear things apart. And then they have the molars in the back to chew. Now, this animal wants to have wonderful vision so he can see what's ahead of him. Where are our eyes compared to, say, an owl's eyes? Or not an owl's, compared to a squirrel's eyes? Our owls are right in front, correct? They're right in front. And when we look at something, we see the same thing with both eyes. We concentrate and focus on one thing. And that helps us tell whether it's far away or close. Why does this animal need that? Because he wants to chase other animals and other things. He wants to know how far they are from him. Now, supposing I'm an animal that gets eaten often. Other people want to eat me. Like
Andy's coming. What you can do?
a little squirrel.
Come forward, Andy.
Now, this is a little smaller than that. What do you think this is? squirrel, you're absolutely right. Now, do we see squirrels in our backyard? We sure do. And squirrels are what we call prey. What does prey mean? What does prey mean? Yeah, food for a predator. That's a perfect answer. Prey is food for a predator. And, I don't know if Mitch mentioned to you, but the prey very often has their head down, and they're going to have to look to see what's coming around them. So their eyes are on the side of their head. It's hard to see with this, but the squirrel. In fact, when you come to the zoo, you can look at our animals, and you can, not all the time, but most of the time, you can tell what the animals eat by looking just at their eyes. Because if they're prey, they have to be aware of what's around them. If they're predators, they have to look ahead. And they have to see what's in front of them. What are we? What are we? We're predators, right? Where are our eyes? Where are our eyes? So we're predators. So little squirrel is prey. The bear, well, this will tell you more about the bear. Right? Okay.
Just while we're talking about this for a second, you know, when you come to the zoo, you're going to go to our farm area. In our farm area, we have all kinds of animals. We have sheep and goats and cows and horse. All of those animals tend to be prey. And you'll see all of those animals have the eyes on this side of the head. Now, the cow, let's talk about that for a minute. The cow doesn't want to have anybody come up and eat them. The sheep, the goat, but they eat grass. They eat grass and straw and hay. And where's the grass and the straw and the hay? It's on the ground. Well, how do they get it? They have to bend down and eat it. And if they bend down and eat it, they are exposed to the other wild animals. So they don't want to take very long to do that. So they eat very, 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 very quickly. And now I've got the eyes on the side of my head. I can see all around me and make sure everything's okay. So what does the cow do now? When he goes, gah, 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 all that food goes into a compartment in his tummy, a big compartment. And he stores all that food there. And then during the day, he walks around to make sure nobody's going to hurt him. Oh no, I can see all around me. I can see everything. But he regurgitates that food, which is in the same condition it was when he ate it, because he hasn't done anything. He hasn't digested it. Ready to go. And he starts chewing it. And he chews it down into little pieces, and now he swallows it, and it goes down into his stomach. And so that's how he protects himself. He's able to eat very, very quickly, put the food into that big sack in his stomach, and then during the day, he's constantly chewing and eating. Okay?
But we don't have too many cows roaming the wilds of Bergen County, do we? So let's talk about one more of our wild animals, and then we'll let you guys have some time to look at our stuff. Does anyone know an animal that looks a little bit like this? My goodness, I think you got it right away. What do you think? An owl? Well, owls have feathers. This is fur. I'll give you a hint. It's not as big as our bear or a wolf. It's a little bit smaller. I think some people have it. What is it? A raccoon. We're going to talk a little bit about a raccoon because we were talking about predators, the animals that eat meat, and we were talking about the prey, which are the animals that usually eat something more like vegetables or vegetation. This is an animal just like us because it's an omnivore. Omnivore is a great big word that just means I like meat and I like plants. How many of you have ever had a chicken nugget? I love chicken nuggets. And how many of you had a side of French fries next to your chicken nugget? Well, you're all omnivores then. You ate a plant and you ate some meat. No. So, we have our raccoon prints. And raccoon prints are one of the main prints that people see in their yards. Raccoons come out at night, and not too many people see the raccoons themselves, but they leave a lot of paw prints around. We're always finding these in my yard. And at the zoo, we keep finding it on all of our bridges that go over the water. We find little raccoon prints all over those because they like to go down to the water and clean their hands just like you guys did with all that gel. So we're going to leave this one open. You guys can touch this again. Is this real fur? No, it's just pretend fur. I'm going to leave that one open if anybody wants to touch it. It does feel a lot like a raccoon. And I'm going to leave our two paw prints next to each other so you guys can decide if your paw is more like a raccoon or more like a bear. Yes, ma'am.
My paw is definitely dangerous.
Right, do you ever touch any wild animals?
No!
No, we never touch wild animals because that's not safe. It's not safe for them, and it's not safe for us.
I get scared.
Now, my biggest question to you all is, do you have habitat in your yard? Do you have habitat that the animals would like in your yard? Some people do and some people don't. So we would like to give you all a little packet of seeds so you can bring some wild animals to your yard. Is that a good idea?
Yeah!
Yes, because these wild animals are butterflies. We would never give you something that would bring a wild animal you'd have to really worry about. These are some wildflower seeds, and they are all flowers that help to bring birds and butterflies to your yard. Birds and butterflies, especially butterflies, are known as pollinators, and they help to make more plants grow. So we're going to let you all take some of these to go home with. We'll leave them here. When you guys come up to see all of our fun things, feel free to take one, and it'll tell you a little bit about some of the wild animals, the wild pollinators. Yes? Right, raccoons are not a safe thing to play with, so we're not going to play with any of the wild animals. So did you all learn a lot today?
Yeah!
Who had fun? I know I did. You guys have fun?
Fun!
I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and you know what? I always learn a lot when I come to libraries. Are libraries cool places?
Yeah!
So everyone say, yay, libraries!
Yeah!
Okay, and I'm going to let Mr. Wattrell finish up our program today. But remember to come to the Bergen County Zoo at any time. We're in Paramus, in Vanson Park. And feel free to come in and ask for Carol, Andy, or Mitch.
And we'd love to show you around.
Okay, we're going to get to the Bergen County Zoo, Carol, and his staff. Okay, well, first off, I want to say thank you again for all of your support. It means a lot to us here at the library, for the Friends Organization. We want to welcome you back to your library. Also, just a couple announcements. The books are on sale. If you'd like to take a book with you, they're on sale right now. If you want to become a member of the Friends, the applications are right over here. Again, your donations really help us out. For as little as $5 or $10, everybody, you really can help support your library. We also have the applications for the Bergen County Zoo. We are selling the books at the ongoing book sale for 50 cents. Please take a peek at our selection. We also have our Friendsville Library tote bag that you might be interested in. And I'd like to invite everybody now to join us for refreshments because we humans also need something to eat too. And I want to thank ShopRite and Sarah Supermarket for supporting this. And thank you again. Happy Easter, happy Passover to all of you, and a very happy first day of spring. Thank you for coming.
Happy spring!